John, Abbey Road is it's got a lot of attention here at this show, and it's not surprising. It's a lovely layout, underground, of course. You've gone for 2 levels. What was the thinking behind that?
The thinking was with the last layout, it was all on 1 level. If something came off, or someone took a phone call or whatever, the interruptions, or started talking to someone, then the whole thing stopped. So on this one, it was 2 levels on the basis that if 1 level doesn't work, as now, or is stopped because we're short, then you can still run the other level.
So they're running as separate...
2 separate layouts, or 2 separate pairs of track, in effect. So you've got 2 in 1, they're not connected, but it gives the impression, of course, that it's part of a system.
You've got some nice mixtures in there. The platform's very reminiscent to me of Farringdon Street, would that be right?
Yeah, very good. Oh, it worked, yeah, obviously that's what it was based on, but other than that, Farringdon's, I think, one of the few, perhaps, split-level stations there is on the Underground, and it lended itself to a split-level arrangement, where you could have the same station building covering 2 platforms.
And the surface element of the station at street level, that's very, I'm showing off here, I think it's a Piccadilly line nest.
Yeah, it is. Again, deliberate, a Holden-style building who was associated with the extensions of the Piccadilly line at both ends, and it's just a station. Wood Green was an area I grew up in. It was a station I sort of used to see all the time going to work, so I wanted to model it.
Line-side details are nice. The cable runs must have been agonisingly painful
the cable
for someone to do.
The cable runs and the 3rd and 4th rails, a nightmare, but it had to be done. It was one of those things like extracting teeth, but it had to be done to capture the essence of the Underground. The whole idea behind this and the previous layout was, without a train being in sight, people had to be able to stand in front of it, like you just done with saying all the stations, typical Piccadilly line. They had to be able to stand in front of the layout and say, that's the Underground. Because if I hadn't have achieved that, then I think you shouldn't have to put a train on the track to determine that. As I'd failed, it could have been a Great Western Branch line then, couldn't it?
Of course, you are a bit Mr. Underground, really, aren't you? You used to be a driver. You still work for the Underground, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, it's like a lot of us. I've always been interested in trains, and the Underground in particular was my passion. And I had the opportunity in my middle age to almost do what I wanted to do. And I thought, I know what, I'll drive a train. And the mugs at the Underground took me on, and I became a driver for a couple of years. I just wanted to have a go and wear the T-shirt and that, and then I moved on rapidly elsewhere. But it was good fun.
But the combination of that and the modelling has led to yet another string to your bow, hasn't it? With the models that you produce.
With the I started producing my own models before I joined the Underground. One of the benefits of being on the Underground as a driver was that although I had drawings, I could get out of the train in the depot with a tape measure and measure all sorts of things that otherwise I'd have probably killed myself or been prosecuted or something for doing, like measuring the buffers at the couplings at the end or parts of the bogie, etc. So it was quite useful from that point of view. But the strange thing was that I'd actually modelled the train in question, or designed it, long before I ever got near driving one. It was only when I got to drive one I thought, oh, I missed that bit.
As a producer of models, this is a small element of the model railway world. Is it a growing element? Is it getting bigger?
It's growing. I think a lot of people now like a bit more specialist. It's certainly growing with the advent of the EFE range of tube models as well. That's encouraged a lot of people to buy them off the shelf at sort of a reasonable price. We motorise the EFE ones, but because it's such a niche market, none of the big manufacturers do motorised tube trains. So it was something I did for myself, and then people sort of asked where I got them from, so it developed from there.